Alrighty, guys. Look, thanks for coming along tonight. We are recording this. Hopefully, it works for me this time. Um, Look, if you are watching this live, thank you for coming along. Thank you for stopping in on Zoom and registering to be a part of all of this. It's always fun. Guys, if you're watching a recording, thank you for taking the time. I'm going to do my best to keep this nice and succinct for everybody. I don't want to take up too much of your night or your morning or whatever time you're watching this, wherever in the world you may be. We're actually going to be recording this and sending it out live to, well, not live, we're going to be sending it out at a later date to people around the world. But you guys, during our 8-week challenge, you're going to have first crack at these ones. This is all about you after all. You've jumped on, you've made the commitment for 8 weeks. And having some amazing results, I might add, by the way. We are week, for everybody not doing the challenge who happens to watch this on a recording down the track, we're currently sitting at week 5. During our 8-week challenge, we've had some incredible results. Some people have lost, upwards of, I think we had a 7 kilo body fat loss in 4 weeks. It's absolutely amazing to see that sort of weight loss, and it's a healthy weight loss as well. It's not like we're starving people here and forcing people to overtrain. It is all monitored. We're getting the right amount of calories in. We're getting the right amount of macronutrients, micronutrients. Everything is tracking along nicely. But of course, after that mid-challenge weigh-in, again, if you're watching this on a recording, if you have a weigh-in and you're not quite happy with the results that you've got, this little video is for you. I'm just going to get my head out of the way there. It's all about overcoming our struggles, and I want to keep it nice and short and sweet here tonight. There are a lot of different struggles that people struggle with, that people have issues with. So look, I'm going to cover, I think I've got four different topics that we want to touch on tonight. And guys, again, it is a completely interactive webinar, so please feel free to throw anything up in the chat. Point note here, because that's where my second screen is. But cool, let's jump in. For those of you watching this on a recording and you don't know who I am, my name is Jason. I'm the director at ProFit International Health and Fitness. You'll see it on the shirt. I don't know how to get that one in there. Look, been doing this a long time. Dealt with everything from being underweight to overweight. Mental struggles, physical struggles, severe disabilities. I remember one of my ladies, when I first met her, she was on canes. By the time that we were done, she was actually running on the treadmill, or jogging on a treadmill, unassisted. And some of the transformations that we've seen over the years have absolutely been just mind blowing. And you know what? A lot of that is mental. And we're going to touch on that. Actually, we're going to touch on that throughout tonight. Mental issues or mental struggles are something that we all deal with in any sort of avenue. So I didn't want to put just one particular, mental slide in here, where everything can be related back to your mental state. So look, you tell you what, let's just jump straight in. We're going to start with: are you struggling with effort? And this is the funny thing. Like, you've got to be honest with yourself with your effort, because hey, you can bullshit to yourself all you like, but your body's not going to lie. And that's where you've really got to take a step back, look at your training, look at the amount the intensity that you're putting in, and really judge yourself. Like, get your judgment hat on, and don't be afraid to criticize what you're doing, and call yourself out on it. Because after all, this is my second point: if nothing changes, nothing changes. All right. And so what I mean by that is, if you're going to continuously do what you're continuously doing, are you going to get to your results? No, of course not. No, you're just going to get the same mediocre results that you've always got. But if you want to drastically change your health, then you have to make some drastic changes, right? So the type of nutrition that I'm pushing here, I'm pushing that because it works. You know, we're on a huge kick with a combination of intermittent fasting, a high keto diet. You know, we've got some supplements in the cards as well, our ketones. Everything around that, it works, and it works well. Our results are speaking for themselves. I mean, I've got the list. Where's my list? I've got my list floating around here somewhere. I'm about halfway through. Look at that. I mean, I'm about halfway through updating people's measurements and goals and weight losses, to our software at the moment. I'm just going to read you some of these results. Body fat loss. So just hear this. You know, in 4 weeks, 4.3 kilos, 4.4 kilos, 6.6 kilos, 4.8, 5.4, 3.7. Guys, we are dropping some serious numbers in body fat. So I'm pushing this because it works. And if you're not on this, that's cool. You know, I'm not going to hold a gun to your head and say, hey, you need to get on this. There are other avenues. This is what's working well, and it's getting us some serious results. There are other avenues, yes. This is what we're pushing for our 8-week challenge. And because, hey, it's 8 weeks, we want to see some serious results in 8 weeks, right? But if you want to see some serious results quickly, and in recording this, we're actually 9 weeks away from Christmas. So throw that into perspective, right? How much can you lose before Christmas? The next one, what are your goals? You know, we do 80% of people that come to a trainer. Actually, it's probably more than 80%. It's probably closer to 90%. 90% of people that come and see a trainer, they either want to lose weight, tone up, get big, get ripped. They're the 2 big goals. And guess what? It's the same goal, right? You want to increase your lean muscle mass. You want to decrease your body fat. Same goal, right? It's just a different wording. But I want you to get a little bit more specific with your goals. Why are those goals important to you? What's your 10 out of 10? So everything here is going to link in together. What are your 10 out of 10? If you answer me, how important is it to you? Is it for you to lose 10, 20, 30, 40 kilos? How important is it to you? If you don't answer me 10 out of 10, that's not your goal. What is your goal? You know, your goal may be so I can see my grandkids grow up, or so I can see my son and daughter go to high school. You know, whatever it may be, put the emotion behind it. Okay, that is your goal. And in order to get to your goal, you need to lose X amount of weight. I'm throwing ideas out there, for you. If your goal is to get big, get ripped, hey, you want to make a success as a pro bodybuilder so you can provide for your family. Yeah, hey, that's cool too. You know, whatever your goal may be, put the emotion behind it. So you have to answer, how important is this goal to you as 10 out of 10? There is 9 out of 10, 9.9 out of 10. That's not good enough. I need a 10 out of 10. That's going to get you to put the effort in and make these changes. And are you even serious about achieving your goals? If not, hey, don't whinge about where you are now. That's all I'm got to say about that one. And I know that one's going to rub a few people the wrong way. But if you're not 100% serious about losing weight, getting big, getting ripped, whatever your goal may be, if you're not 100% serious about that, you can't complain about where you are. Okay? And I'm going to move on from here because, people are going to jump up and down about this one. And I'm going to cop a bit of feedback out of this, but hey, look, you know what? I'm no stranger to controversy. The next one we're looking at, nutrition. Are you struggling with your nutrition here? So, there's various stages of nutrition, and I want to give you, hopefully I'm going to be able to help you out in getting past these roadblocks as we were with your nutrition and hitting your macronutrients. So between macros and your calories, they're I don't want to say they're one and the same, but they're similar in the sense that it's about the amount of food that has to go, or the amount of energy that you has to be ingested into the body. So I'm going to start with calories because it's basically the entire pie. So are you hitting your calories? And it is super important that you do hit your calorie goal. Like I said before, we're not starving people here. We're actually having people hit these goals, and it's working. Because if you're not hitting your calorie goal, your body's going to go into starvation mode, right? It's going to hold on to every single thing that it can get, and that gets stored as body fat. What also happens, though, is that it will start to deplete the systems in the body that require energy, most commonly muscle mass. So how do you expect to tone up if you're burning body fat and gaining muscle, right? And that's where these macros come into play as well. So you have to be eating the right types of foods. When I say macros, I'm talking proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats. So the three major energy sources. Okay. So you have to be eating the right types of macronutrients, as well as the right number of macronutrients and number of calories. Now, if you're struggling to hit your calorie goal, slowly work up to it, and you might have to force feed yourself a little bit, but I mean, don't make yourself sick by any means, but work into it. Add in, hey, an extra 50 grams of chicken, add in an extra half a handful of spinach or half a handful of salad, or just slowly work up over time. Look, it's not going to happen overnight. Some of the when we first started this 8-week challenge, some people were lucky to hit 600-700 calories, where their calorie goal is 1,800. So they basically had to almost triple what they're eating. And you know what? Hey, look, we're only 5 weeks and 4.5 weeks in, actually. And, they're not quite there yet, but they're making progress. And that's the idea, is to make that progress. In terms of hitting your macros, what I would recommend for that one is sitting down the night before. Track your food for one day. We like to use MyFitnessPal. If you're not tracking your nutrition, how do you expect to know what goes into the body? So what I would recommend is track your nutrition for one day. So I'm going to make it quite easy. It's going to be boring to start with. I'm not going to bullshit to you. Track your nutrition for one day. Every single thing you eat, and you're going to duplicate that the following day. However, before you do that, what you're going to do is run through everything. You're going to look at your nutritional table, proteins, carbs, and fats, as well as your micronutrients. So we obviously can't expect our body to run smoothly if we're not putting the right sort of foods into the body and maintaining it, right? So load everything into MyFitnessPal, take a look at it. What are you lacking? Maybe you're lacking protein. I use protein because everybody lacks in protein at one stage, right? So let's say you're having chicken for lunch, chicken and salad for lunch. Cool, great fresh choice. In order to hit your protein, you might have to increase your chicken. Or, hey, let's add a protein shake to break our fast of a morning. Maybe you want to invest in a protein, in a casein protein before bed. Just side note, if you do want my own personal discount code for any sort of supplements, let me know. I'll send that to you. Just shoot me a PM. So look, there's tons of ways. So track your nutrition. Again, track your nutrition, see what needs changing, sit down that night, make the tweaks, and prep your meals for the following day. That way you're bang on. Okay? A variety of foods. What I would recommend for this one is once you know what you need to be eating in what meals, right? I'm just going to use a generic number. You're going to use, say, a 20% carbohydrate meal, 40% proteins and fats, right? But it's generally a rough keto diet, which is what we're using now. Let's say that you want to duplicate that 20, 40, 40 through meals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many meals you're having, right? Let's take, let's go lunch, the chicken and salad. Let's say you've got that perfect. So it's getting boring, right? You've been eating the same thing for 2-3 weeks on end. You want to change. What I would recommend is basing those macronutrients, the proteins, carbs, and fats, around something else. maybe scrambled eggs and salad, or do yourself a quiche, or whatever it is you want to do, but duplicate the macronutrients. That way you can just swap and change. You go, okay, chicken one day, eggs the next, whatever it is. Okay. Volume of food. Again, this is this bottom one here, volume of food. It is a bit of a struggle, and I'm going to be a little bit boring here, so bear with me. Our calories and our macronutrients do not directly reflect the volume of food that you have to eat. So 100 calories of chocolate, I don't know, this much. I don't know, pulling sizes out of thin air here. However, 100 calories of lettuce, so if you want to try and fill your tummy with 100 calories of lettuce, you'll do it, no worries. But 100 calories of chocolate, you're going to be wanting more, right? Macronutrients aside, we're talking volume here. What you can do here is look at some higher calorie food. So have a look at your fats. That's why fats are so, well, it's one reason why fats are so important, is to bulk up your calorie content. So what I would generally recommend for people just starting out is to base your meals around protein. Okay, whatever protein source, doesn't matter if you're vegan or vegetarian or paleo or whatever your preference is. Base your meal around a protein, add the appropriate amounts of fat, make up the remaining calories with carbohydrates. Carbohydrates coming from fiber. Okay, so your vegetables, your salads, that sort of thing. That will essentially bulk up the meal, and you should be able to have a pretty sound meal there. Making sense? Cool. Next one along, boredom. Actually, have I spelled boredom wrong there? Doesn't look right. I'm a poor trainer. My English is terrible. Cool. Boredom kills so many people's. It kills the vibe so much. Find something that works for you. So that's why our boot camps get mixed up so much. It's not just boring old circuit, same old circuit. It's, hey, we're changing the timings, and look, we're touching on this one here, circuits. So change your timings. I know tonight we did a huge circuit. Actually, we added in, instead of having your 10-second rest, for example, we threw in a couple of burpees instead. Get the heart rate up, keep things exciting. It's just that it's a tiny little tweak, but it changed it. It was that variety that I like to introduce. And you can do that at home as well. Resistance training. So for everybody there with that are getting into their resistance training, their strength training, the whole 3 sets of 10, that sort of stuff. Different exercises for the same muscle, right? So maybe you're going to do squats, swap out squats for lunges, or something like that, something to keep things that little bit interesting. You could maybe add a little bit of weight to that as well. Different types of weight. So instead of just dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever, throw some sandbags on the shoulders, or build your own. Get a bucket of sand. There's so many. I remember I was broke as I was strapping house bricks together with some old telecom rope. I was using them as weights. How times have changed, right? Obviously, music is a big one. Mix things up with your music, definitely. Whatever mood you're in, and fire yourself up. I got a bit of Charlie Tuna on the stereo at the moment. He's always good for some nice beats. Alex is angry music. Yeah, I know you're angry music. And look, nutrition. You're bored with your nutrition. Just add some spice to it. Add a bit of chili, or add the way you cook, or change the way you cook. Sorry. So I know we did a live video a few weeks back there. Instead of scrambled eggs, maybe do poached eggs. We eat not just with our taste buds, but with our eyes, with our with the various senses as well. Does it look good? Yeah, cool. How's the texture with that food? You know, a prime example is zucchini. Like I'm not a big zucchini fan by any means, but I've been getting into my zoodles. So it's basically just zucchini cut into strips and replace your spaghetti with zoodles. Just little different tweaks like that can really start to change things up for you and keep you honest, keep you genuine, keep you on track. Last big thing that I want to touch on is injuries. There is always a way to train if you are injured. Okay. And you know, look, I'm not going to get into too much depth about this because you know, how long is a piece of string when it comes to injuries? But what you need to understand here is the nature of the injury, as well as a base knowledge of your anatomy and your biomechanics behind the injury in question. So, you know, use myself as an example. Dicky knee, right? Dicky left knee. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with it, but I know what tweaks it, and it's that forward step, that forward momentum that tends to tweak my knee. So treadmill for me is out. So I stick to the bike, right? So that's how I do my cardio. I know for some reason bodyweight squats are out of the question, but heavy squats are. So that's what I stick to. I stick to my heavy squats. I don't do very many bodyweight lower body exercises anymore. Not necessarily a bad thing. I add a bit of weight and it goes right. But understanding the anatomy, so I'll take a wider stance as well. Okay. Generally, the narrower stance, the less emphasis on the glutes, more emphasis on the quads. Generally, I know it's not quite how that works, but that's the rub. That's why a sumo stance will always lift heavier than a traditional stance. So your wide stance will always be heavier than the narrow ones, right? But understand the anatomy, understand what will work, and that's just a knee. You know, there's tons of exercises out there, tons of injuries that you can overcome. But yeah, look, are there any questions? I've got one more slide I want to show you here. But are there any other questions before I jump onto this last slide? It's actually a video. I don't know how this is going to go on Zoom. What's everybody actually struggling with at the moment? What's your number one struggle? Mental. So many jokes in that one, Alex. What are you mentally struggling with? All I get is a shh. Nothing. Not mentally struggling with anything. Okay. Okay. For those, I mean, if you're watching this on a recording, sorry, I've got my little chat over in the corner here. Alex is just struggling to get into a new routine with new work, etc. Just get a new job. Awesome. You know, we all go through something like this, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. It doesn't necessarily have to be a new job. It could be, you know, moving house. I know there's a couple of people that have moved house lately as well. They're struggling to get into that routine as well. Similar concept. What I would recommend is, you know, for everybody here listening to this live, you're in our VIP group for our 8-week challenge. I want you to go back and find the weekly structure. It's under our files section. I want you to fill that out. It's a 7-day spreadsheet. If you're watching this on a recording and you would like a copy of that, shoot me a PM. I'll get that sent out to you. Well, what I recommend is sitting down with that weekly structure. You know, it's from like 4 a.m. through to 10 p.m. or whatever it is. It's all editable. Make it your own and put in everything. I know all my one-on-one coaching clients, everybody, I try and take through this as well to get that routine, so you know where you are, or you know where you should be at a certain time of day. Okay, I hope that helps. Look, I'll take. Let's see if we can get through a couple of these. Narelle, sugar. Look, sugar's a big one. Sugar, you know, struggling to cut out sugar is. Look, sugar has the same response on the brain as cocaine, right? Or I think it's cocaine or speed, one of the two. One of those illicit drugs. So it is considered an addiction. So look, in order to cut it out, it's just like any other addiction. It's just like cutting out smoking. You know, you wean. Well, there's a few approaches here you can take. Is obviously just wean yourself off it, or you could just go cold turkey. Find something else to substitute for your sugar. Not necessarily a sweetener as such, like a chemical sweetener, but maybe find a different avenue completely. I know. Look, I had this conversation a couple of months ago. You know, about craving something sweet after your last meal of the day, right? So instead of eating that last meal, going in and sitting down in the lounge and doing all of that stuff, why don't you go and have a bit of a workout, or you know, do some push-ups? So it doesn't have to be anything extreme, but release the feel-good endorphins through exercise rather than through nutrition. So look, I hope that helps. Look, I'll tell you what, I don't want to go too over time. I'm going to show you this video. Look, if you do have any questions, you know, I am here for you. I'm going to wrap this up. This is, if you did our last 8-week challenge, if you were at our gala dinner for our 8-week challenge, you'll know this video. This is actually where I pulled it off. This wasn't the video that I was looking for, but it does the same job. Enjoy this. I'm going to move me out of the way, and yeah, let's sit back and hope this actually works.
I've been fat my entire life. Every day I have woken up heavier than I was the day before. It was a fact of life and I accepted it. I didn't want to be fat, but I didn't fight against it because I knew it would require a change in lifestyle. Intellectually, I knew that it wasn't just about diet and exercise, it was about altering the way I lived. For the longest time, I had no interest in changing. I knew that when I sat down to eat a box of donuts, they would make me fatter, that my back would hurt even more, and that it would be even harder to stand up and walk around. But today is different. I do care about how I feel and how I want to live. I wish I knew what finally clicked in my brain, because then I could tell others how to change their mindset as well. I finally got tired of being fat and unhealthy. It's hard to say exactly what my breaking point was. It could have been when I passed the 500-pound mark. That was a year ago. Maybe it was buying pants in the largest size carried by the local Fat Guy clothing store. My birthday this year is another possibility. Turning 40 is cause for reflection. Then again, it does bother me that my performance at work has degraded. I'm too tired and worn out to sit in front of a computer for 8 hours. Can you imagine? Maybe it was all of those reasons and more. Maybe it doesn't matter. And what's important now is that I'm ready to turn around. It might be dangerous for me to say what I'm saying, because the excitement I feel right now could very well be the same excitement that countless others felt when starting a new fitness regime, only to later lose that excitement and fail in their goals. But I hope it doesn't turn out that way. I trust DDP. I may be a fool for giving this much trust to a stranger, but I'm doing it anyway. Some of the moves were more challenging than others. Getting down on the ground was super hard. There were some moves that I simply couldn't do, but I could see a time in the future when I would be able to do them. After having so much trouble moving my knees and butt down to the ground, I chose stand-up as my first official workout and gave it a try the next day. 5 minutes into the video, I turned it off. I was sucking air and ready to collapse. The situation called for a change in strategy. I went to the recommended workout called Energy, and when I got winded, I stopped to breathe to let the video continue to play. I missed a few moves and joined back in when I could and didn't worry about trying to catch up. There were several times when I sat down on the edge of my seat and continued while only using my upper body. I finished the video knowing that while I had not done everything as instructed, I had still made a major accomplishment. I'd forgotten how eye-opening. I'd forgotten how eye-opening those first experiences were.
How freaking cool is that? Look, I should say that I don't actually own the rights to that video. That's you know, a really good good inspiration of mine, Diamond Dallas Page. Go over and check out his YouTube channel. There's tons of stuff like that. You know, it's absolutely incredible to see that. If that doesn't inspire you, you know, I don't know what will. I mean, I'm sitting here with goosebumps as well. I've seen that, you know, a dozen times, and I still get goosebumps from it. So, guys, don't forget, I am here to help. You know, let's flick back here. You know, whatever you're struggling with, you've got your effort, you've got your nutrition, you've got your boredom, you've got your injuries. There's going to be tons more. You know, any issues that you've got down the track. There are always ways around it. You know, I got you back on this one, team. Let's get out there and kick some serious ass. Cool. I am out of here. Let's go and enjoy your night.